Hello. Welcome to Car Expert YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. The new 570 GT aims to change all that. It's basically a 570S with a glass rear hatchback that opens toward the according sidewalk for right and left-hand drive depending on the country of sale. Unlike the S owner cramming luggage behind the seats, the GT owner elegantly posts weekend bags into the leather-floored trunk. Actually, the width of the rear fender means they'll likely be dragging them across the all-aluminum bodywork. At least McLaren offers a vinyl coating service to protect their paint. A panoramic sunroof is standard and gives the cabin a lovely airy feel, though the reflections from the front and rear screens are poor. Counterintuitively, the GT has worse rear views than the S model. Also standard are soft closed doors, powered steering column adjustment, and interior trim extended into the hatchback. The suspension is softened compared to the 570S's. Front spring rates are reduced by 15% and rears by 10%, with damping force also reduced to give a slightly more compliant ride quality. The steering ratio is 2% slower and the deletion of the flying buttresses means an 8% reduction in downforce. Steel brakes replace the 570S model's standard carbon ceramics, although to prevent the embarrassing splash of cars falling into the Atlantic off the launch venue on the island of Tenerife. Unchanged is the Sports Series carbon fiber tub in the mid-mounted, Ricardo-designed and built M838A, a 3.8-liter, 90-degree, quad-cam, dry-sump, twin-turbo V8 that makes 562 horsepower and 443 pounds-to-foot of torque. Also unchanged is the 7-speed, twin-clutch transmission driving the rear wheels. The 570 GT borrows the quieter exhaust system from the 540C and specially developed Pirelli P0 tires. There's also a small reduction in acceleration from the 570S model 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds to 3.4, and the 0 to 124 miles per hour time from 9.5 to 9.8 seconds. Top speed, largely down to aerodynamics, is the same at 204 miles per hour city. Highway fuel economy is 16/23 of a mile per gallon. Cabin ingress isn't easy in spite of the scissor doors. Even the most athletic tend to plop down into the seats, and climbing in while wearing a skirt is particularly risky. At least the GT has some hard-wearing surfaces where your feet scrape over the side sill. The inside door release buttons aren't easy to find and getting out requires a sort of funky chicken elbow push, but the hydraulic struts ease the strain of pushing the doors open. Engine response is exactly like in the S models, little off-boost urge and quite loud, but very powerful when revved past 3,000 revolutions per minute. Porsche's 911 Turbo uses super expensive variable geometry turbochargers to add flexibility, and Audi's R8 and Lamborghini's Huracan are naturally aspirated with instant throttle reaction. But if you boot it, the McLaren V8 is pleasingly reactive, and the 7-speed transmission changes quickly through the well-spaced ratios. Of course the 570 GT isn't as quick as the 675 LT, but that car makes you feel that you might as well cut up your driving license with scissors. For the road the GT is more than fast enough, rewarding and exhilarating. It's just a pity the engine sounds so flat. After its monkish approach to developing the first of the Super Series, McLaren has learned and reacted with the GT. Even if both S and GT were developed alongside each other, as a road car to live with and to drive places, the GT is a far better proposition. And while it's difficult to place it in the long and noble lineage of actual Gran Turismo cars, you can always pop some Wagner onto the Bowers and Wilkins stereo and make your own Grand Tour.